Hey Steven, we're back again, huh?
Okay, thank you.
Let's talk about this civil leadership.
Yeah.
When I looked it up in the dictionary,
Okay.
it says which is a leader of the municipal area or something like that.
Yeah.
But you have a different definition
Yeah.
of it, huh?
And my definition is more in the social side, that it is a leadership with a special attitude, with special values, with close to society, close to citizens. And I use the word civil leadership instead of what most people use, civic leadership, because I want to acknowledge and define that it's also executives that could be socially involved and have civil leadership.
I looked it up on Google.
Yeah.
And with civil leadership, you
Fair
get
enough.
stevendewaal, 3 pages. You know?
Yeah. That's the reason I took the rather unique definition of civil leadership,
I understand.
which made me a bit more of a unique writer. Yeah.
Has it something to do with when I think about your definition, a people's manager, somebody who listens to the people?
You could say that the term people's manager is more about the internal way of leading or managing people, work related or within organizations. And my civil leadership is more about what you do for the people, for the citizens, for the society.
Exactly. What do you need to have as a civil leader?
Yeah, the most important thing, that was the search I did in the dissertation, is about values. What kind of values do you have? Are you really passionate about a societal problem or a public issue, or things that go wrong in the neighborhood, or things that go wrong in education and healthcare? So you need a passion for society, a passion for the public cause.
Which is good, because how do you explain it? It has to do about acting, and not about saying.
No.
So you totally, as the audience, you understand what is a good civil leader, because you can see in his actions that it really comes from the heart instead of the mouth.
Yeah,
huh?
That was my definition in the dissertation, was that I looked for civil leaders that really have proven their point. So they had some result in society, or some result in public services, or some result in politics. So they not only said they would do things, or said they didn't like the problems they saw with their patients or their pupils, etc., but that they really acted. And what is leadership about is that you act in a different way than other people expect.
Exactly. Now, what is in your opinion, because you do your talks, what is in your opinion a good civil leader? Could you give us some examples?
Yeah, I have some examples in my dissertation, which are Dutch, but which one of them was a very stubborn reverend in the city of Rotterdam, which tried to show that the addicts people were living on the street and didn't have therapy and didn't have support. So they showed it to the city, and he used his church to assemble them or give them even sleeping places. So that was one example of a private citizen, in this case a reverend, who did something that was not really in the interest of the big city. To show that they have a lot of addicts and homeless people is not very much in the interest of the big city.
Exactly. Now, but look at the now, at these times. International wise, what is a good civil leader?
Yeah, but because I use the word civil leadership as a style of leadership, I'm very much impressed, as more people are worldwide, in how Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, in which I lectured a lot in New Zealand, which showed how to behave when there is a big thing going on around Christchurch about killing I think more than 40 people. And she showed how to react in society, how to be strict on the one side in laws and regulation of arms, etc., but at the same time empathy and showing concern and showing her feelings for the Muslim community in New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly. When you look at a lot of politicians, when something happens like that, they become paralyzed.
Yeah.
and it takes a long time to act. There's a long time in between, and that's what the audience doesn't like anymore because everything goes so quick. So
I give a lot of lectures in departments for public relations and press relations, etc. And they used to have a slogan for these kind of CEOs in these kind of questions. They said, when you are shaven, you should sit still. So when the public exposes one of your big problems, you should stay still and wait 1 week or 2 weeks, and then you come with a very a nice systematic answer. And they no longer give that message. They say you should react within a minute. You should react immediately and show that you are concerned, that you want to do something about it, like Jacinda Ardern showed. She was immediately there showing that she wanted to restrict arms and had empathy for the community. So that's the two sides that people want to see.
So using your brains and your heart
that's it.
At the same time, in a combination of those two.
And the combination of your position, using your position and your leadership style. So your personality and your position. So she showed that she, as a prime minister, she can make proposals to Parliament about a new legislation, and she did that. So it's not only talking or showing respect and empathy, it's also using your position. And it's one of the things that goes wrong, that a lot of CEOs try to react in public with a lot of concern. But then everybody says, okay, what will you do tomorrow?
There's a lot of concern, but nothing happens.
That's it. That's it. It's both. It's both.
Well, we were talking about talking. Now look at the Publicspacefoundation. It's a think tank. Does it only consist of you? You're the one who does it?
I'm the most active member. I founded it. I financed it partly. And I run the big messages, the content of the think tank. But it's close cooperating with a lot of people around me which adhere to my mission, which also try to stimulate active citizenship and social entrepreneurship. So it's not only my show, but I am the big initiator.
Exactly. You inspire a lot of people. Are there people who inspire you?
I like the civil leaders I investigated in my dissertation. They all inspired me very much to finish the dissertation. I in all my interviews and research of them, I promised them that it would be part of my dissertation. So I couldn't stop. I must finish it.
All right. Now the disruptiveness. Well, let's talk about that. That's just because your book, civil leadership, disruptiveness. What you said in your talks and you wrote about it is that the politicians, they don't like not to be heard. If you write something bad about them, they actually love it because people are talking about it. They have attention. So the worst thing you could do to them is not paying attention and doing other stuff.
I call that in the book the battle for the eyeballs. So the most scarce thing in all society worldwide is attention. So like we are talking now, that's attention. And people watching us on vlogs or internet, that's attention. And the biggest scarce thing now is attention. Because we have 30 things to look at on YouTube, Instagram, whatever, on television, on the newspapers. We have a lot of problem in focusing on the one thing we really want to know.
Talking about that attention thing, Andy Warhol once said that everybody is looking for his 5 minutes of fame. David Hockney, the artist, he said recently that that's passé, because everybody can get famous now. But it's a bit of a local kind of thing. Locally famous.
That's not really true. Look at the influencers on Instagram. or on YouTube.
Yeah,
It's mostly teenage people in a close community looking at fashion or at new technologies and showing it.
But probably he means locally, not geographically.
Okay. Because the public is international.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it has all kind of niches.
Yeah.
I think he means
maybe that's right. That could that they have different influences. There are different influences in news media and in fashion and in technology. That's right. Probably right.
Yeah. And you see that special professions like journalism, photography. They have a hard time nowadays because that was a profession once. But everybody writes. Everybody makes pictures.
I said in my book, I called it that everybody now is a journalist.
Exactly.
Now, the one thing I got against me in all publics are journalists who don't want to hear that. So they said, okay, the amateurs are now journalists too. But I had a profession. I am paid to make news. And now the revolution is coming to their jobs, and they first felt very much threatened in their work, and they now say to me, no, the new channel of these amateurs and these citizens, I can use to generate news. I suddenly hear what's going on the streets or in the neighborhood or in the traffic or in their fashion, or in their neighborhood. And so I can now see what's going on in the city and I can investigate and write about it. So journalists now are telling me that this new channel gives them not only competition, but also news.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, talk about disruptiveness. I mean, people are aware of what's going on. You know, they have their internet, they have their mobile phone, but you still can trick them.
Yeah,
because of the digital revolution.
Yeah.
That's the ironic
thing
of it. Right. If you look at Cambridge Analytics,
I mean, that's right.
I mean, we have Trump because of that.
Yeah, partly because he was probably smarter in using big data, in also knowing where to get the votes, in what states he should have a majority. And he was in that smarter than Hillary Clinton, probably.
Yeah.
But he also had this kind of manipulation going on. And what we know already from Obama, Obama also used in his campaign a lot of get out the vote, phoning, targeting where his voters would be, getting inside neighborhoods in streets themselves. So he also knew where his voters were. And it's now technological further. But this kind of we all know, also Hillary Clinton bought a lot of things of big data, social media. So probably Trump was a bit smarter in that area than his opponent.
And if you look at Holland, somebody who probably foreigners don't know about it, but Baudet, you know, he was a year ago that he was the coming man, arrived man actually, but now a year later. So does that have to do with what you said earlier about people? The personalities have to come out, and they have to be very real.
That's one of the problems, which could also be a strong case. What you see is that's why I call it disruption of democracy. Democracy is as disrupted as the markets because people from outside politics get in very fast and very successful. We saw it with Macron, who erected a political party 5 months before the elections and then won the elections. We saw it with Zelensky in the Ukraine. We saw it with Trump, who put pressure on the Republicans to candidate him because he had a lot of followers. And we saw it now in Holland with Baudet. And what you see is that the power of the people is about that they can tell each other to vote for him. In the old days, when they listened to mediators or journalists, they told them it would be a lost vote. Macron was just arriving, had a new political parties, and maybe in 5 years or 8 years he would be a nice candidate. And now in the current technology, you can ask each other, oh, yeah, I like Macron, I would like to vote on him. And then all people say, yeah, I think the same. And then you know your vote won't be lost. You can vote on Macron and he will probably win. So the new technology leads to a much bigger push to new people to come up if you like them.
Yeah, but the result of that, in a lot of percentages, is that they fall down very easily after that.
Yeah, one of the things that in democracy is not very looked at is if they have a competence. Is this a competent president? Is this a president who has executive powers and executive skills? They look at, is this a person I like? Is this a person who says things I like, or is in my interest, or is as I feel, or as my family feel? And then I vote on him. And if he can run this office, I don't know. I think he could be doing something.
But a lot of people don't care either.
No.
Because they find them nice personalities and because they don't know how it works in the White House or on political level.
In the old days, you could say, that's why I call disruption of democracy is also about disruption of political parties. Political parties, the basic function of political parties in democracies is, which they don't often talk about, is that they recruit and select people for a lot of official government functions, like mayors or ministers or members of the parliament, etc. That's their main function, I think. They don't talk about it much, but that's their main function. And what we now see is that main function is taken over by the public, taken over by social media and internet, and they say, "Hey, I like Macron. Yeah, he comes outside politics, but that's only prey. That's only what I like about him."
Yeah. Because
so he's not part of the old parties.
Yeah,
and he has a new vote. So that's why I vote for him.
And a new energy.
Yeah, but people don't. That you could say that was the old function of political parties. That in selecting people for a lot of government functions, that they also looked at quality, at skills, at can they do it.
Yeah.
And I think most people don't even know that political parties did that and were not very happy about how they did it, because they all knew a failed mayor, a failed minister, a failed member of parliament, and they say they're not doing a very good job in selecting people. So that's, I think, the reason that they want to look outside political parties, and if it's the right person with the right personality and the right rhetoric, then they choose him.
Thank you very much. What are you going to do over the next couple of weeks? Is there something?
I will be lecturing in Holland a lot for executives and non-executives about civil leadership and about disruptive times. And I will be at the end of the month in Canada to lecture in the International Leadership Association.
That's a great country.
Very good. Yeah, I like Canada very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.